Bishops from all over the world are meeting in the Vatican to discuss young people and how the Church can help them find their vocation. Senior EWTN contributor Dr. Matthew Bunson joins us from Rome. Matthew, this is the start of the third week of the Synod. The Vatican briefs the press every day. What was brought up today?
Yeah, at the briefing today, Wyatt, we heard from a young lawyer from Chile who expressed her desire and her concerns that the Church treat with great respect and no discrimination those who are in minority groups. She included in that social groups, ethnic groups, and sexual groups, a clear reference to gays and lesbians. It is that very point, I think, that has been something of a worry for a lot of people here in Rome regarding this Synod, especially as we enter this third week and the Synod begins work on sort of the final act, if you will, of the different documents that they're trying to craft as a response of the Synod to the Pope's request to help young people. The director of Vatican Communications today actually anticipated many of the questions that are being asked about the process and said that yes, the voting is going to go on as it has, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions. And one thing that's especially clear is that the working document, the so-called Instrumentum Laboris, the blueprint for the Synod, is not very popular at all with these bishops, at least a large number of them, and they want an entirely new document to sort of emerge out of the Synod.
Interesting. Well, Pope Paul VI began the general tradition of holding a synod back in 1965. What impact do you think his canonization now will have on the current synod?
Well, just yesterday he was declared a saint of the Church. The Pope who began the Synod is sort of overhanging the Synod. We have large questions of human sexuality in the Synod. The Pope, of course, Pope Paul VI, was the author and architect of Humani Vitae that is stressing the authentic teaching of the Church regarding human sexuality. That is a major topic here, and a number of bishops, I understand, have been raising that issue in their small language groups. Also, the Pope of Prudence, as Pope Paul VI was called, is, I think, a role model for a lot of the bishops here who want to be very careful in how far this Synod goes in addressing issues, especially of human sexuality.
Well, let's follow up on that a little bit. This Synod is taking place amid a global sex scandal, one that's exploding certainly here in the United States. Is there any word on who will succeed Cardinal Donald Wuerl as Archbishop of Washington?
Yeah, well, just a few days after his resignation, people here are still discussing that acceptance by Pope Francis of Cardinal Wuerl's retirement, his resignation. We're already moving, though, into the phase of who's going to follow him. And the question for that is one that's a little unclear. However, I'm hearing from a number of sources that it could be very soon, perhaps as early as just a few days after the Synod. Now, as with the McCarrick scandal, as with the Wuerl story, there have been a lot of false stories, a lot of rumors that did not turn out to be true. We'll have to see, but clearly his successor is in the works. That's something that we can anticipate, and we'll just have to wait to see what Pope Francis decides.
And we'll continue to stay on top of it in the meantime. So many important issues coming out with the Synod this week, and obviously an important month for the Church. Dr. Matthew Bunson, EWTN Senior Contributor, thanks so much.
Good to be with you.